Okay, I'm at 1826 William Howard Taft Road doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. See the clean out here. Line's been replaced on the inside all the way back to the, it's kind of dark in here, but there's a stack right there and it's all been cut and replaced up to here. Now, something I can already, that I already saw by looking down in there, and we're doing a standoff on the front of the camera here to try to help. There is a break here at the base of this clean out. And as we get close, you can see as it drops down, you see the root intrusion, and the bottom of the pipe is broken out there. So that will need to be replaced. Trying to get it to go. There we go. Get it to go on down the line here. Start the inspection. It does look like it's like as soon as you exit the, as soon as you get past that clean out, it goes into and gets past the house line. We go into looks like SDR 35, and then it is fern coat. It looks like a sealed fern coat. Doesn't look like anything's getting in, but it looks like a fern coat into Schedule 40 for an outside clean out. It does look like a two-way, so you would be able to go back into the house and out, which is we also the clean out here. You could go about halfway up. It comes in high and then drops down to go to the to go out past the house in the clay. So this all looks like PVC. So this has obviously been replaced since the house was built. This would have been clay all the way out. And it's even more obvious by the clay under the floor, the original clay under the floor here as it exits the house. And here we go with some more clay. So, looks like this is just full of debris and roots. Not really sure what's all in here. It's about 31 feet out. Looks like a break with a massive amount of roots there at 31 feet. I'm going to keep pushing. Hopefully we can get the camera rinsed off out into the main, and then as we pull back, hopefully we can see a little better there. So as you can see, the camera's just we can get some. There we go. Yeah, this has got gunk all over the front of the camera now. And I don't think we have any way of running any water. And we can at least see a little bit. There we go. We have a lot of gravel and stuff here too. It looks like this may be broken and filled with all kinds of stuff. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get past this point. It's like I'm up against so much material. Yeah, that's at least half the diameter of the pipe there. You can see. And I'm not sure if that's getting in at the break upstream, if there's anything there. I'm out 71 feet. So I am going to go get a locate of exactly where this is, so I can get a reference of how much the pipe we've inspected before I pull back. So I'm going to pause the video and locate this. Okay, it's marked. This is about 5'4" deep to the invert in the middle of the sidewalk. This is just about the demarcation line between the Metropolitan Sewer District and private. And so it doesn't look like there is an active hole right here, but I can't see well enough to be able to tell that exactly. And so as we pull back, we're going to take a better look at whether or not the water and gravel has gotten in here.
See, that looks like that 57. That looks like that
Okay, so I'm having trouble being able to see clearly. It looks like all this is in one piece through here. Just from all the stuff in the buildup at the bottom of the pipe. You can see that we have some cracking going on here. It doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be, it looks like cracking, but it's really hard to tell because there's no real access to water here. You can see this is where all the root intrusion is here, about 30 feet, right at the end of the PVC. And so I think this is either getting in right where the fern co is in the connection. This is probably 4-inch PVC inserted into 6-inch clay. And so when it was inserted, if it wasn't sealed, you have a lot of buildup of roots. And that tends to make me believe that this is all root intrusion here at about 29-30 feet. And then at that 71 or 72 foot mark, that there is possibly a break there, and that's why it's full of gravel, or it has gotten in right at the base of this, the clean out here, where you can see the crack, and that it is something that is just built up at that spot from coming in here. But this doesn't look like a big enough void to have carried that much gravel out and piled up there. There was usually a reason for it to all have stopped right there at that point. So we have 30 feet. There is roots getting in at the connection from the PVC. And then we have the 72 feet or so. We're unable to proceed past that point. It is full of gravel and debris, and I believe that's due to probably a break in the pipe based off of what I've seen. At 40 feet or so, there was at 40 feet, I noticed that there was a spot that I just couldn't see clear enough. I don't think there was a hole, but there's a possibility. I'm going to wipe my camera off, and we're going to make another pass, and then hopefully I can get to that point and be able to see well enough at that point that it will allow me to tell what it is. So we're going to try to rush through this here, build up some speed, and we're going to try to get back out to that 40-foot mark without getting a bunch of stuff on the front of the camera. Usually the roots are what do it right there. So we're going to keep pushing. And I believe this is where we were. So now we have a lot cleaner look at these connections here. It looks like there's not a void there. Looks like they may be pulling a little bit. That 40-foot mark is where I was concerned about it, right around in through here. And it's just discoloration of the connections, it's not holes. So with the obstructed view earlier, it was just, I was unsure of what that was, but now without the all the haze on the front of the camera, we're pretty good. So 72-foot mark, we're unable to proceed, and about 30 feet is where all the root intrusion is, where the PVC switches over to clay. And so you can see from where the connection was made, there is some longitudinal cracking from the connection here, and it was probably done when the fern co was added or when this was inserted. And so we do have some pretty major root intrusion from about 30 feet to about 32 feet. So the main the main concern here is just that you have a spot at 72 feet that will most likely need to be repaired. If nothing else, it will have to be cleaned and then re-inspected to make sure that that spot doesn't have any structural issues. And then at 30 to 32 feet, where the PVC connects to the clay, that is allowing a bunch of root intrusion right at the connection. And then right here at the base of the stack, you have the clay that is blown out, and that's shown right about, say, 5 feet on the video, but it's right at the base of this clay pipe. So the sections in between look pretty good, structurally. Being on the hill has probably contributed to a lot of this, just the stuff moving apart. But I'm going to recommend that the line be cleaned and re-inspected past the 72 foot mark, and or inspected from the other side by the sewer district to find out if they can see it from the other side, since it is past the property line and probably on their maintenance property. So that'll end the inspection for 1826 William Howard Taft Road.
Are you recording?